Edo in the 18th century is not just a city, it is a living organism, breathing in rhythm with the tides of the bay. This is the world of Yukio, the floating world of fleeting pleasures, where every moment feels like the last petal, about to fall from a cherry blossom branch. You imagine the air, filled with the scent of salt from the sea, fresh-cut wood, and the faint trace of incense, drifting from distant temples. Romance here does not tolerate haste. It is woven from lingering glances, secret letters written in refined calligraphy, and the sound of wooden sandals echoing on stone streets. This is a time when love is either a sacred alliance or a dangerous leap into the abyss, defying every law of honor. You wake in the cold HL light, before the first ray of sun touches the paper walls of your room. The first thing you hear is silence, the kind that exists only in samurai households, where every sound must be restrained. Your fingers feel the rough texture of tatami as you unfold your finest kimono. Your movements are slow, ritualistic. You study your haori, clean, carefully pressed, yet upon closer inspection, you notice the faint signs of fading fabric, worn by time. You are a samurai. Your honor is unshakable, like stone, but your purse is empty. Your family receives a rice stipend barely sufficient for a dignified life, and today, you have spent your last savings on a tiny box of the finest face powder as a gift. You carefully comb your hair into a tight shamage, checking every strand. Then, you take up your swords, the long katana, and the short wakizashi. They are your soul, your status, your protection. Yet today, they feel unbearably heavy, because you know the woman you are about to meet is accustomed to the gleam of gold, not the cold of steel. You step outside, keeping your back straight as the code of Bushido demands, while doubts tear at you from within. Can you, a warrior whose only true wealth is his name, offer anything to someone whose father controls half the city's trade routes? You walk through the streets of Edo as the city awakens. You pass fish merchants and craftsmen already at work, feeling their respectful gazes upon you. They bow because you belong to the higher caste, yet you know the bitter irony. Any one of these merchants can afford dinner at the finest restaurant, while today, you will count every coin you spend. Your meeting place is a small bridge near Kanei-ji Temple. You arrive 10 minutes early, a samurai is never late. You stand watching golden koi glide through the water, steadying your breath. Then you hear it, a soft, almost imperceptible rustle of silk. She is approaching. You do not turn right away, allowing her the same moment of composure. When you finally bow to one another, you catch the scent of camphor oil and plum blossoms in her hair. Her kimono is a work of art, heavy silk embroidered with cranes, worth more than your entire house. Here, it helps to pause and understand the strange world you inhabit. Edo in the mid-18th century is ruled by a rigid social hierarchy, Shirno-kyo-sho. At the top stand the samurai, warriors, and administrators. Below them are farmers who grow rice, then artisans, and at the very bottom, merchants. But decades of peace have changed everything. Samurai, with no wars to fight, have become impoverished officials, whose value steadily declines. Meanwhile, merchants, officially the lowest class, have amassed enormous wealth. They are the true masters of the city, shaping fashion and daily life. A meeting like yours, between a financially ruined aristocrat of spirit and the daughter of a wealthy merchant, is a symbol of the age itself. It is a delicate dance on the edge. You offer prestige and status. She brings comfort you could only dream of, even though her family is officially considered beneath yours. You suggest a walk along the canal, where willow branches dip into the water. You walk a step ahead, as your status requires, yet you constantly listen to the sound of her footsteps behind you. You speak of classical poetry and garden blossoms, avoiding talk of money or daily struggles. You tell her a legend about two lovers who became stars, and notice how she lifts her eyes to you for a brief moment, the morning sun reflected in her gaze. You decide to invite her to a tea house, the greatest challenge of your day. You choose a place refined, but not ostentatious, careful not to betray your poverty. As you enter, tension tightens your chest. The server, seeing your swords, bows deeply, yet you catch her discreet glance, assessing the condition of your sleeves. You order the finest matcha and seasonal wagashi sweets. When the time comes to pay, you do so with deliberate carelessness, as if those coins were not your meals for the next 3 days. This is your final line of defense, your pride. You watch as she delicately holds her cup. Her movements are flawless, taught by masters of ceremony. In that moment, you realize that despite your different origins, you are both prisoners of the same system. You are a prisoner of duty and steel. She is a prisoner of her father's golden cage. You feel a sudden closeness, one that needs no words. You win the meeting as the shadows stretch longer across the streets. You escort her to the edge of the merchant district, where the air smells of spices and money. This is where your paths must part. You bow once more, and she pauses, then extends a small paper fan toward you. "So you won't forget the coolness of this day," she whispers. You walk home through the evening streets of Edo, as lanterns flicker to life. Your steps feel lighter, even though not a single sen remains in your pocket. You touch the hilt of your sword, and understand, being a samurai today is no longer about killing enemies. It is about having the courage to love, in a world where everything is bought and sold, and to preserve the purity of your heart, which is worth more than all the rice stored in the shogun's granaries. You fall asleep, knowing that tomorrow, you will once again count every coin. But today, you are not just a warrior. You are part of that very floating world, where love is the only truth. Untouched by time,